Hi everybody, Renegade67 and or 68 here with some more Let's Play Stream Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works of the Blind variety. Take 2, I guess. I mean, what? There's no take 1. You can't still find that right now on Twitch. Unless you're in the future, then you can't still find it. But I was being ironic. You can, but in the future you won't be able to because I won't save it. Anyways, one of the music playing through the day change is weird. But one of the things that I said initially, in my initial version, that does not exist anymore, unless it still does, is that the Issei thing. With the Issei being evil somehow, but like not really, but like controlled. But so I'm conflicted about that because I like that, to me, I thought it was a trap. I thought probing Issei further would be a trap. I thought the master, whoever it was, would be a trap because I feel like Castor would have to know that kind of shit. And so I was kind of okay with the idea that, oh, it's a trap. I thought it was a trap. It's a trap. What bugs me a little is that Shiro, who's gotten smarter in this timeline in theory, still had a kind of a stupid reasoning. It worked. It wasn't stupid, but the reasoning was just that, oh, Issei might probe into Castor and then he could get hurt, and that's bad. I mean, does get hurt if you probe, but not for that reason. And so Shiro ends up being oblivious to the real, I don't know, the proper reason is that it's probably a trap. There's a lot of reasons to think it's a trap, and he doesn't really think that way. Even though that is the correct way to think, that's the way I was thinking. So that's just something I've thought about, is that I like the choice, but like, if that's the choice, then the reasoning behind the choice that he gave for why he did it wasn't even the thing that is the reason for what they did. And I think that that comes to the idea that they're trying to conserve the plot twist of Issei being a trap because Shiro wouldn't want to think that way, but it is that way. Anyway, Shiro's the superhero caring about people's life and not his own. Yeah, that it would be crazy. Yeah, Saber just got to the heart of Shiro being a superhero, but like, does he want to be a superhero? And Shiro's like, I don't know. My dad wanted to, but then Saber's like, yeah, but do you want to? And Shiro's like, surprise Pikachu face. Memes. So now he's probably gonna have another dream or something, right? Oh, there's dream music, flashback music. I see his dream. Oh boy. Dream time. The memory of the man who was set up as a hero. But do you mean Kiritsugu or Archer or you or yourself or Saber? Wait, Saber's not a man. Okay, we narrowed it down. We eliminated one of the possibilities. The memory of a man who was set up as a hero. A story of a knight who was understood by no one. Well, that's unfortunate. A knight, right? Archer's a knight. That would make sense. That looks like Saber's Hill again. It was a simple story. In short, there was something wrong with him. That sounds like him. That also sounds like Shiro. You know, the same person, of course. He had some power and he had some ambition. Sure. But he used his powers at the wrong places from beginning to end and he died. Sounds like it could be talking about Shiro, potentially. It's only natural. Power exists to grant your own wishes. Compassion does no good for others. What? I thought compassion only does good for others. If you have compassion, well, debatable, I guess. Kirei says so. Kirei? Oh, wait, what? Why is Kirei coming into this? Kirei says so often, but everything is balanced because everything you do comes back to you. Wait, Kirei? I know Shiro kinda knows Kirei, but like, often? Kirei says so often? How would Shiro know what Kirei says often? It's not Shiro's... Is Rin having the dream? Wait, what? Wait, what? And I see his dream. Is this Rin's dream? Were we being debated? Did we think we were Shiro's perspective, but it's Rin's perspective? The memory of a man who is set up as a hero, a story of a knight who was understood by no one. It was a simple story. In short, there was something wrong with him. He had some power and some ambition, and he died. Power exists, compassion. Kirei says so often. Yeah, how would Shiro know what Kirei says often? Has to be Rin's perspective then? Are we seeing the dream, but we're like seeing it alongside Rin, and Rin's narrating, but Shiro sees it too, maybe? What the fuck? Everything is balanced. These were the Rin interludes all along. Everything is balanced because everything you do comes back to you. Okay. Just equally, I forgot the quote, equally balanced as all things should be. One gets energy because actions circle around to create more energy. Okay. But not having that means never being replenished. Okay. For example, if one lives for others and not oneself, I'm sure one would run out of power right away. I mean, someone like Shiro, though, doesn't, or a hero wouldn't, so it wouldn't be right away, necessarily. I think it depends. If there was such a thing as disposable money, that's what it would be like. I mean, isn't that a whole term? Disposable income? Maybe they're using disposable the wrong way all along, but that's what it would be like. It'd be used by strangers, and it'd only disappear after it's used. Oh, yeah, I think I get what you're saying. If you save people, you're not doing good for yourself, you're just doing good for them. It's like just giving away your money to random strangers. I mean, if you have a lot of money, that's not a bad thing. But, you're only going to have so much money in theory and eventually run out in theory. So you can't necessarily give your money to all of the poor people. And even if you do, they'll use it and maybe not use it correctly and run out again and need more. In theory. So I do think trying to spread it to literally everyone might be problematic. But if you have a lot of it, then giving a good amount of it to people you like isn't the worst thing that might be, on the poorer side of things. The small miracles, as it were. Is this meant to be Kirei's perspective? I was thinking this was Rin's perspective. Kirei says so often. Kirei wouldn't say that about himself unless the idea is that it's Kirei's dream. I don't think that's what that means. That would be weird if that's what that means. It only disappears after it's used. It's easy to take advantage of it, and it'd be used, and that it'd be used is already a given. Okay. I think. This whole philosophy kind of fits Kirei's mindset. Oh, yeah, and if it's Rin's perspective, she would have been somewhat half brought up by Kirei, so yeah. That's why in the end, he saw many betrayals and his life was ended by someone he saved. Oh. Well, that just sucks. Who was it ended by? Was it ended by Saber? Because, I freaking saw that ending. I got it the first time she killed me. That was terrible. I mean, I don't know if I counted as saving her. At some point, I feel like I counted as saving her in that timeline. And then she betrayed me. I don't know. It just makes me mad. Me as in Shiro or me as in Rin? Or me as in someone else? There is a me. There's a clear me here. I want to question him. Why? He worked hard, put in great effort, even though he was an ordinary human being, and he managed a miracle with his own blood. He put in great effort, even though he's an ordinary human. And his compensation was betrayal and death. It's not even a joke, but he died satisfied. He was betrayed, but still felt happy because the person who betrayed them was saved. Oof. Much oof. Oh, we're dropping a bit, aren't we? Gosh dang it, internet. Why? How dare? You want to fight about it? Oh, did it stop? Okay, that's not huge. It's not huge like it was before. 200 drop frames. That's only 30 is a second. 300 would be 10 seconds. Not even 10 seconds. It's not terrible. So is that just a random drop? It's not a continual, because in the morning, it was just like, it started dropping, and then it kept going. So maybe that was just a slight blip. Hopefully. Anyways. My computer is making loud noises, which is triggering me. Like, is the loud noises triggering of the... Yes, it is. It's dropping again. Huh. At least that's a bit of a tell for me. When my computer starts making loud noises, that says something about something. I don't know why that says something about something. Is something going on in the back end? Weird. It was a slight drop. It doesn't seem to be a big... It seems to be slight, small drops. Nothing big is happening right now, so I'm just going to continue for now. Anyways. It's not even a joke, but he died satisfied. I have no intention of commenting on someone's life, but... But? What's the but? Whose but? Rin Tosaka's butt? I'll take it. I can never accept that one thing. That he died satisfied despite being betrayed? Am I supposed to... That Kirei line drop is so weird. Name drop, line drop? It was dropped in a line of dialogue, text. That's my impression of the dream I've seen a few times now. Uh-huh. Okay. I usually wake up here. Wake up where? Are we... Is this... Maybe this was the Rin interlude all along, and we're about to show Rin. This would be kind of full circle, because the only other time I think we've gotten a proper monologue that referred to themselves, and not, you know, omniscient or whatever you call it, was with Rin in the prologue, in theory. So, maybe? Big herm. Never accept that one thing. Oh, I'm still in the backlog. Ooh. That's my impression of the dream I've seen a few times. I usually wake up here. But the text stopped. The text stopped. The music stopped. What's the but? Oh shoot. This is a big deal, I think. It seems the dream continues today. Oh no. Oh shoot. Reveals or something. He died satisfied. You could never accept that. If this is Rin's perspective, then thinking about the idea... I mean, Shiro, I can see why he wouldn't accept that, because it would be, you know, telling of his own self. Rin, the idea behind her not being able to accept that, maybe just comes because, I don't know, she doesn't know how her father or something. I don't know. It seems the dream continues today. He is standing in hell. It is a scene of some natural disaster, not the result of human conflict. This is the scene that normally plays during the fire flashback, and this does look fire-ish. More parallels. This looks like, yeah, this looks like it could be from another perspective. It looks like it could be the fire, the one, you know, that Shiro is all traumatized about. Traumatized. Scene of some natural disaster, not the result of human conflict. Oh, no, they've said this line already. Yeah. Let me make a contract. I shall give you my life after my death. I would like the compensation now. Uh-huh. Is this Shiro from the future past after he somehow went to the future past and then like gave his life to become a spirit so that he could stop the fire in an alternate timeline? And then he got sucked into this timeline after he had already saved it? And so he's like, well, fuck, I already saved this in the other future past timeline. Why are we spinning my wheels here? I don't know. Maybe. He weaves the words of contract. Fire doesn't feel like coincidence. It could just be a thematic tie between the two, but there are so many thematic ties that it just feels like they're, you know, laying it on thick. They don't really need more thematic ties between the two of them. After that, he changed as though possessed by something and saved people who could not normally be saved. He weaves the words of contract. He changed as though possessed by something and saved people who could not normally be saved. From the fire? The fire? Or different fire? If memory serves, in Timeline 1, Shiro had a flashback that was never fully explained, where he saw the fire, and there was like some kind of spire in the distance or something. And I'm like, wait, what is that? And they never really went into it. Maybe that was the time-traveling archer from the future. No, then he would have saved people. He changed as though possessed by something and saved people who could not normally be saved. Oh, so this must be how he became a heroic spirit. They said it was natural disaster, not a human conflict. Wait, no. What? I thought they specifically said that it wasn't normal. Scene of some natural disaster. Oh. Well, the natural disaster of the Grail? I was gonna say, though, I guess if it's not an unnatural disaster, then that's fair. But, like, it could be the extension of an... I don't know. Whatever, it's still a fire. Double fire. But yeah, there's so many parallels between Shiro and Archer at this point that if they're bringing up a fire as some important parallel here, it just feels like a needless extra parallel unless there's more dimensions to it than that. Anyways, this must be how he became a heroic spirit. Seeing it this way, it's nothing much. Save people who could not normally be saved. There's no such thing as a reader bad reading. Every interpretation is valid. Thank you very much. Although, sometimes interpretations of the writer are just bad, though. No. Yeah, there's no such thing as bad reading. I mean, if the writer writes it in a way that the reader reads it bad, then that's the writer's fault for not conveying it properly. Grumble, grumble. But also, not every reader is going to read things the same way. Some things will just resonate more with other people than others. And if this resonated more with you than me, or me than you, that's not a flaw with the writing, or that's not a flaw with any one person. It just means certain things jive with certain people that don't jive with other people. And that's not a problem. That's just life. Flaws will happen. No matter who reads this, someone's going to find a flaw somewhere that other person would be like, that's not a flaw. That's just how it works. That is how critique works. Anyways, seeing it this way, it's nothing much. I bet the people he saved were not even in the hundreds. That's better than Shiro. I don't think he saved anyone in the fire. Arguably, maybe some people that might have lived, that died because they saved him. You know, Shiro at least thinks that way. And a Karen, by definition, is always wrong? I don't think I know the meme of what the problem with Karen is, but okay. He cannot even be called a hero with such a number, nor would he be promoted to a heroic spirit. But he already made himself a heroic spirit by saying, I want to save as many people as I can, so make me a spirit afterwards? But the number isn't important. The qualification of a hero, one who surpasses humans, is to be able to save those that are fated to die. Is being fated to die a thing? I mean, I guess the name of the game is Fate. But, I suppose that's true, to be fair. But the game hasn't really gotten into the idea of fate much. Fate in terms of, oh, this person's destined to die. And if we look at the multiple timeline idea, Shinji is fated to die in theory because Ilya killed him. Kira is fated to die. So if we're going to go by that idea of fate, then they should both still die. Let's see if that holds true. And if not, and if fating people to die is supposed to be a thing, then Shiro is the 1% that can go past the boundary field and defeat the CERN, right? That's what it means? To be able to save those that are fated to die. It is an alteration of fate. Title drop. It does not matter if he does not have the power of a hero, as long as he averted a disaster that could not be changed, however small in scope. Annoying middle-aged woman that complains about the littlest shit by calling the manager. That's a Karen? Yeah, I'm not familiar with that, but okay. I mean, I'm familiar with annoying middle-aged women, but not familiar with them specifically being called a Karen. Not that I can think of. No. Oh? No. As long as averted disaster cannot be changed, however small in scope. The world would obtain a heroic spirit in compensation for the miracle. Okay. He became a hero and saved those that could not have been saved. It's like a law of the universe. If someone was fated to die and then they lived instead, that's a miracle the world considers enough to make them a hero? Huh. Fated to die means some people die in all timelines. That's what I mean. Like, if that's true, is Shinji fated to die? Is Kirei fated to die? And if not, and we avert that, does that make Shiro technically a hero by the laws of the universe? He became a hero and saved those that could not have been saved. As a result, he became a heroic spirit after he died. And he is now repeating what he was doing before he died. Oh, okay. But is Rin or Shiro having this dream? You had the Kirei name drop, and based on the wording around the name drop, I don't think that would be Shiro unless he knows more than we realize. He became a hero and saved those that cannot be saved. As a result, he became a hero spirit after he died. And he's now repeating what he was doing before he died. Trying to save as many people as possible, even though he's okay to let Castor run about for the greater good or whatever? That could have just been a bullshit line, to be fair, but you know. Being a servant. I guess compensation for a miracle is to become a convenient, disposable tool that will fight for others even after one dies. That sounds like a Rin line. That sounds like a Rin cynic line. I don't know. It could be a Shiro line. Sounds like it would be a Rin line. Miracle is to become a convenient disposable. I don't think Shiro would want to even say those words. That probably sounds icky to him. Become a convenient, disposable tool. Heroic spirits. Superior spirits chosen from amongst humans. The guardians of humanity. But not the galaxy. I made a joke. But they are not ones with free will like the servants. Oh, there's a distinction. You're making the distinction. Okay. Spirits chosen from among humans, the guardians of humanity. They are not ones with free will like the servants. Wait, I thought servants didn't have free will. I thought the idea of the servants from the Grail War didn't have free will and they were just carbon copies. But the heroic spirits were the real people. Now you're confusing me. Heroic spirits are guardians of humanity. Guardians do not have a free will and they are treated as powers. So as heroic spirits, they're just forced to like save things and stuff. The servants, the ones summoned by the Grail, are copies, but they're copies with more of a free will? That sounds kind of backwards. They have a free will enough to want the Grail to give them a proper existence, even though the Grail is kind of grody, so that would be backwards if the Grail is doing that. I mean, I guess the Grail just wants to have fun with itself. Guardians do have a free will and they are treated as powers. They are called forth to protect the world only when a factor appears that could destroy it. They are weapons that destroy these factors. The servant system is a summoning ritual that takes advantage of these guardians. The guardians are summoned into every age, eliminating the offending factor, and then disappear from the world. Archer loosely explained it, but maybe I didn't fully comprehend, and I thought it was the other way around, like a servant, by its name, is in servitude and doesn't have free will, but the heroic spirit does, is at least how my memory is playing tricks on me. Maybe that's not what they said. Terminology, I feel like gets muddled even with this game. I don't think they're fully clear, but... I would hate to be like that, but he must have been prepared to take on that role and then disappear from the world. I would hate to be like that, but he must have been prepared to take on that role. Okay, more and more I think this is seeming like Rin's wording, because Shiro's saying he'd hate to be like that, which maybe, but Shiro would want to theoretically be a hero unless he's admitting to himself that he doesn't want to be a hero, which is also a possible, but especially with Shiro's self-hatred, unless he's learning to like himself more. No, he might have even wished for it. Prepared to take on that role. He might have even wished for it. That it would be perfect if he could save people even after he died. Sounds like something Shiro would theoretically want to wish for. So if this is Shiro, then that shows that he's starting to like himself a little more in theory. Even though he did not have the power to save them when he was alive, he must have believed he could avert every tragedy if he became a heroic spirit. But it just didn't work out that way? So he became all cynical and grumpy. With that in mind, he made a contract with the world to give up his body after his death and saved 100 people. Believing that he would be able to save tens of thousands of people afterwards. Did he succeed? Is he succeeding? By destroying the Grail, maybe? Once and for all, permanently? Otherwise, the Grail will eventually be super grody and some bad guy will win it like Kirei? How stupid of him. Okay, I could see that being either one of Shiro or Rin saying that. Although, granted, Shiro himself is kind of idealistic. So if he's doing that, he has to have some self-realization with that, I feel. Some people. Afterwards, he'd be believing that he'd be able to save tens of thousands of people. This feels more and more like it's Rin's dialogue, yeah. Because Shiro was like, oh, the dream of saving everyone's beautiful. So unless he follows this up with, but I'm stupid too. Yeah, more and more. Rin, this is Rin's perspective we're seeing. And I didn't, oh, is that, that cannot be. Because for a heroic spirit to be called upon, the place would already have to be a place of death. Yeah, baka baka baka. Sounds like a very tsundere thing to say indeed. Heroic spirit to be called upon, the place would already have to be a place of death. Uh-huh. All you can do is make the deaths less tragic. Fair. Heroic spirits are summoned only into hell. And this goes again into Rin's perspective of magic all being kind of shit. And this is just another example of how to negatify the magic stuff. Always looking at the negative side of the magic. Definitely feels like Rin's perspective now. Were they all Rin's perspective? Have these always been Rin's perspective? Is Shiro peeping in on them and he like sharing dreams? Has he been seeing them too? Has it been just Rin? They appear only when the world is about to be destroyed by people. Humans are the ones that will perish from their own doings. Uh-huh. So the process of destruction must always be the same. Okay. Jealousy, hatred, selfishness, desire. That looks a little like Kirei's curse. I don't know if it's exactly like it, but it looks a little like it from what we saw of it. It's like the black goopy stuff, but it's red. The man who loved people and tried to be of help to them was shown the same ugliness even after he died. Yep, that's unfortunate. But, yeah, makes sense. He was called in such scenes and served his responsibility as a guardian. He killed. He killed and killed and killed. He killed everyone that was around him when he was summoned to save humanity as a whole. Because, you know, saving things from things means usually you have to kill a bad guy. And for Shiro, he was killing the Kirei bad guy, and I don't know if he felt too bad about that, but theoretically, if Archer's not Shiro, you know, and even if he is Shiro, but from the future, who thinks, you know, he actually resolved to just not kill the bad people, just save people as much as possible, you know, if you're killing the bad guy, then you're still killing people. Killing bad guys means a lot of the time you're saving people, but, you know, for someone with the ideals, super ideals, that might just be really icky and gross. I don't know how many times he repeated that, nor do I know how many times he will have to repeat it in the future. So there's only one thing I can say. He has been betrayed by many things, but in the end, he was betrayed by the only thing he believed in, his ideal. Well, that's unfortunate. No wonder he's so cynical now. Killing your nemesis is a lot different than constantly killing people. Yeah, constantly just called into the world to kill people. Yeah, even if it's bad people, someone who wants to be a hero, a true hero, I could see why they'd definitely not be a fan of that idea. It's Rin's house. Okay, we were Rin's perspective all along and they just never told us. Okay. Is that all of the dreams? Or just that one? This is the only time we're waking up from Rin's perspective, so maybe just that one? They didn't do an interlude on us, so they did a little cheeky thing with us. Huh. Okay. When I wake up, that's all I can say. We just had a natural perspective switch. We're using the pronouns. We're using not the when she wakes up, that's all she can say. Ah, and it's not even like an interlude. It's just a natural perspective switch. I guess that makes sense. She was the person we were controlling in the actual prologue. She's the only other time we've used the pronouns. That shows a very strong connection between Shiro and Rin in theory, which is interesting. It's so interesting. I remember thinking this at the time too, that if Rin is like timeline 2 waifu, it's so weird and feels arbitrary. If there's like a timeline 1 waifu, and the theory there's a timeline 3 waifu, that just randomly one of the timeline waifus is like more special and has importance beyond that. I guess arguably timeline 1 waifu is also Saber, who is just important because she's your servant, but like, timeline 3 waifu, probably just because it's a big plot twist and like Sakura, probably. Because like Ilya has the Taiga Dojo, so I'm guessing Sakura, but nah. It's secretly, it's Aiko all along. Could be, doubt it, but could be. We still haven't gotten back to her for a long freaking time, and I want to know what's up to her. Rin has the special power of protag pronouns. How long are we going to be in Rin's perspective? Whoa! When I wake up, that's all I can say. My body feels tired and I can't move at all. Okay. My mind is the only clear thing, and I blankly stare at the ceiling. Only clear thing, blankly stare at the ceiling.
うすうすそうだろうとは思ってたけど、あれ、やっぱりあいつの記憶だったか。
I knew it. So that's his memory, huh? Huh. Has Shiro been seeing it too, or all along were those Rin's perspective? Interesting. I sigh and stare at the ceiling. That's his memory. Interesting. My mind is the only clear thing. So you're seeing... Okay, the way you're talking about this, so I knew it, so that's his memory, means he hasn't fully told you about him, I don't think. I don't think he's told you who he is. Exactly. Which is, again, telling of who exactly is this person. We've got no kind of important name drops. Because even if at the end, if at the end of this, I've said this, but if they name drop him as, of course, my name is Bleh, what's the significance of Bleh going to be? Because if there's no significance, they could have said Bleh a long time ago, even if he didn't remember his memory. But I sigh and stare at the ceiling. He could have said Bleh in the prologue. I guess there could be as much meaning as there is for Artoria, but if he's supposedly a normal person, how much meaning could there be? What special significance could he have? Anyways. Artoria as in King Arthur. But, I assumed you assumed that, but in case you didn't, I just spelled it out. I sigh and stare at the ceiling. This is hard. He could have told me that I might get a glimpse of his memory when I'm asleep because Master and servants are connected. Maybe even he didn't know. I guess maybe he's had memories, has had glimpses of your memories too. If he had told me, I could have cut my consciousness so I wouldn't see such a thing. Wow. You don't want to deal with stuff like that? You don't want to deal with the heavy stuff of your servants? You want to cut yourself off from that? Because you're afraid of getting close to people?
起きよう。今日もいっぱいやることあるし。
I'll get up. There are lots of things I have to do today. Okay. How long are we gonna be the toe sucker here? I get up. My body is heavy and my eyelids are heavier than steel. Also, yeah. Is both the body and eyelids heavier than steel? Or just the eyelids heavier than steel and your body's just regular heavy, maybe as heavy as steel? I curse how I'm not a morning person and start changing into my uniform slowly. Shiro's very much a morning person. He wakes up at like 5 or something. He's probably already up by now. What is it for you? 7, 8, maybe? 9? I don't know when your school starts. I don't remember.
けど、まあ。
But, well... I don't know if this is as I expected or not. But he used to be a hot-blooded man. Used to be? You mean he's not hot-blooded now? Maybe he's not hot-blooded around you. He's really hot-blooded around Shiro. I don't know what hero he is, but it seems he was more honest before. You still don't know what exact hero he is. There has to be significance then. And this is why my mind keeps going back to Shiro. Because if he's a nobody hero, if he's just some rando dude, they're not going to reveal him to be like, I don't know, what's a random important hero in fiction? I don't know. I know it's not going to be Lancelot, but like Lancelot, it wouldn't be that. So, like, who could it be? It has. I keep going back to that. Anyways, it seems he was more honest before.
まあ、それもあんな人生を送った挙句、死後もこんな目に遭わされちゃ、確かに性格歪むわよね。
It's like old times. Being real again. Like old times. I should make some mayonnaise jokes. Back in the day, I was really... That's why, that's why I even had voices on initially, because I was like, oh, there's so many voices. Maybe I should leave them off. I was conflicted for a bit. But the initial thing that was making me, I definitely want to leave them on. It was the German that sounded really cool when they enunciated it in a special way. But also, Miles' voice from Ever 17, which now at this point, I can't hear this as anything but Rin. When I go back and maybe at some point watch Ever 17 again, I'll be like, now I just think of that as Rin. But, surprised Archer isn't more twisted after all that? I'm aware Saber would recognize Lancelot. I know. I'm just saying, I'm just thinking of some important person from fictional history, and that's just the first one that came to mind. Imagine not being able to just wake up at 5 a.m. and start your day right there. I mean, I wake up generally at about midnight, and then I go to sleep at like 4 or 5 p.m. So, such a life, and he ended up like he was even after he died. I laugh it off. My face in the mirror looks serious and about to cry, but I decide to laugh. Oh, that's like the opening of Case Closed originally. Hyakunen Burina Seikimatsu. Nope, it's been so long since I've sung that the lyrics are iffy in my head. But the important one is nope, I can't just skip. But the English version is something I should cry, I laughed away my tears. Anyways, I used to know the Japanese, some of the opening one. I never fully learned it, but... No, I missed the line after that. It's gone. In my head, it's gone. Anyways, it's gone. It's gone. Hyakunen is 100 years. So, yeah, it's been 100 years since the end of the century. I know what that line means, but I forget what the line after that is, and eventually it goes to how you should cry, but instead you laugh. I laugh it off. My face in the mirror looks serious and about to cry, but I decide to laugh. Lying even to yourself. You don't want to see yourself look sad. You want to keep up the image to yourself, because of course, if you can't keep up the image to yourself, how do you keep up the image to your lover, Shiro? Because I have to do so, I won't be able to face Archer normally. Oh, also Archer, but he is Shiro, so, that too. I get ready and drink the freshly brewed tea in the living room. Wow. Wow. Cool. We're just Rin for a while. How long will we be Rin? A whole day, maybe? Do we get like a whole day of Rin? Wow, cool. Do we get to do choices, though? We never got to do any choices as Rin in the prologue. So, I wonder if we just don't get choices as Rin. Because Rin isn't a hero, so she can't control fate. Shiro controls fate by making alternate choices, whereas Rin's fate is destined, and she cannot do anything to change it. Only Shiro and his power to choose choices can change it, because he's actually a heroic spirit. I get ready and drink the freshly brewed tea in the living room. I don't usually eat breakfast, so it's pretty quick. I have 15 minutes and I have to get going. This cup of tea is like a ritual I perform every morning to wake up my half-asleep body.
Rin,
Rin, how long are you going to be playing around for? There is one fool that cannot read his master's mind. I guess he's a morning person. If Archer is Shiro, imagine if Rin betrayed him. Ooh, that's smarts. Shiro as a guardian can defy fate with visual novel choices. Exactly. Exactly. That was the foreshadowing all along. Rin doesn't get choices. Shiro does, because he's a heroic spirit. I solved it. There's one fool that cannot read his master's mind.
いつまでって7時半までよ。それを過ぎたら遅刻しちゃうじゃない。
I'm gonna relax until 7:30. I'll be late if I stay here longer than that.
誰が登校時間を言っているか。私が言いたいのは聖杯戦争のことだ。
I'm not talking about school. I'm talking about the Holy Grail War.
他のマスターと協力することは悪くない。だが、君の場合は選んだパートナーが悪すぎる。
Does he grill her about me every day? Or is it just now that she's given you the specific spell to not attack Shiro as long as you're cooperating? So you're like, come on, can we stop cooperating so I can attack him now, please? Come on. It is not bad to cooperate with other masters, but in your case, the partner you chose is too weak. Shiro's actually really strong, you know. He helped her out of a jam. And Saber's pretty decently strong, too. They maybe need dragon sex to give Saber some good magical link-up. But other than that, they're pretty good. You just don't want Saber to win because of PTSD for some reason. And you just don't want Shiro to win also because of PTSD, but probably different. Daily reminder, your partner sucks. Stop it. I don't like them. I don't like their face, and they don't like mine. We should just not cooperate anymore. Jeez. Taku. That again? Archer tells me to cut my ties with Emiya Shiro every chance he gets. Emiya Shiro, full name. Oh, so he really does it every chance he gets, huh? Good to know. How much are we going to learn being inside her head? Ooh. I remember at the time, I was so glad that to be out of her head. Because I'm like, what a weirdo. She doesn't have a wish. And she does have some trauma of her own. But God, compared to Shiro's initial trauma, it was like nothing. Now, do you have box choices, Archer? If you're really Shiro, you should have your... Wait, no, all heroic spirits have choices. In theory. And that's what makes Shiro special. That's the plot twist. Anyways, that again, Archer tells me to cut my ties with Emiya Shiro every chance he gets.
だからその気はないって言ったでしょ。アーチャーはそう言うけど、私は適任だと思う。そりゃ戦力としては不安だけど、協力者としては文句なしでしょ。
You fucking deflector. I told you I have no intention of doing so. You say so, but I think he's rather suitable. It's true that he's not much help in battle, even though, during the Shinji incident, he fought all those Scullies, and you did almost nothing in that situation. But sure, it's true that he's not much help in battle. Oh, he also saved your life when Ryder went straight, this knife went right through your face, and he blocked that when you would have died. He's not much help in battle, but he's perfect as an ally. Freaking deflecting to make yourself goddamn feel better. Your taste in men is still garbage. If this was Timeline 1, I would have agreed. Going from Rin to Fate Zero, yeah. I mean, at first I enjoyed going to Shiro because I thought it was dumb how Rin didn't have a wish. And it is a little dumb. She has some issues, but Shiro had some pretty big issues too. Bigger in Timeline 1. Now hers are bigger, I'd say. So it makes sense to go back to her. Go back to her head so we can solve her dumb issues. But he's perfect as an ally.
その、エミヤ君なら何があっても裏切らないと思うしさ。
Still calling him Emiya-kun to Archer. Of course, to Archer you'd call him Emiya-kun. That makes sense. You don't want to admit your feelings for him to Archer of all people. I think he would never betray me. Yeah, based on the way he's acted, I can see why you would think that. But you're also just getting kind of attached and want his penis, for sure.
本来、信頼は駆け引きで築くものだ。理由のない信頼など、それこそ信用ならん。いいか、あれは勝ち残れる人間ではない。協力者を選ぶというのなら、
What?
まだキャスターのマスターの方が賢い。
What? Are you guessing, or do you know something we don't know? Do you know something Rin doesn't know? Or do you know something Shiro doesn't know? Trust is usually established through tactics. I cannot trust someone without a reason. Look, he is not someone that will stay and win. If you were to choose an ally, Castor's master is a smarter person. Yeah, but Castor is a bitch. Also, I want Shiro's dick. Also, Castor's master? Do you know who that is? Also, weren't you the one with the theory that he or she was being mind controlled? Have you found out that's not true? Did you find out it's like Kozuki and they're not mind controlled and Issei is just a trap but not the master? Is this a mistranslation? Or do you just... What? Archer choice. Sacrifice yourself to Berserker or fuck off and kill Saber out of the way. Yeah. Why'd I have to summon you instead of Saber? Yeah.
ふざけないでアーチャー。あんた、私にあんな下道と志を同じにしろっていうの？
Don't kid me, Archer. Are you telling me to stoop so low? But, like, Castor's master, do you just mean Castor in general? Or do you actually mean Castor's master? Is this a typo? Or am I supposed to actually be looking deep into this? Because that's a big statement, if you know what you're talking about. I put my teacup down and stare at Archer. Even if it may be sarcasm, I cannot ignore what he just said. Dash, 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 dash. Dash, 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 dash. The air freezes. I'm seriously pissed and Archer has no intention of backing down. Ooh, boy. We stare at each other for a while.
確かにキャスターは下道だが、あれはあれで実に魔術師らしい。
It's true that Castor is a heretic, but she is indeed like a magus.
その点で言えば、リンは戦いには向いていない。魔術師ならば、志より結果を取るべきだ。
In that regard, you are not fit for fighting. Ooh, I mean, you kind of said this to her before, and she was not happy. If you are a magus, you should put results over your wishes. But like, wait, but I thought the whole point of the Grail War was for the wish, in theory. So if it's for the wish, you put your wish over the results, right? If the results go against your wish. I guess you mean your general, platitudes. That's fair. Just the way you worded that, given that the Grail is about granting wishes, is a little weird. I think I get what you're saying, but weird word choices.
皮肉を言っても無駄よ。私は方針を変えないわ。
It's useless being cynical. I won't change my policy. Alright, good, Rin. At least that's something you're good for, being hardline in your opinions. Sometimes those opinions are wrong, but at least here, I can back you up.
まったく。どうしたのだ一体。エミやシローと知り合ってからの君はおかしいぞ。以前の合理性はどこに行った？
Man, what is wrong with you? You've gotten strange since you got to know Emi Yashiro. Where did that rationality of yours go? Yeah, she's definitely gotten a bit cooties, a bit of a cootie senses because of the Shiro. But I think all along she was a little strange, to be fair. Then again, you're strange too, so It takes one to know one. Dash, dash, dash. Heh. I realized that without having you tell me. Ooh! But I can't help it. He doesn't have anything, even though he's a magus, and is dangerously single-minded. But I love him. You're deflecting, Ren. He doesn't have anything, even though he's a magus. Doesn't have anything as in any skills, and is dangerously single-minded. Okay, fair. I think you're deflecting, but fair. She is a bit of a master of deflection. It's unproductive to scream against such a guy. And he's, this is just Sun inner monologue. Come on, Ren, Sun inner monologue? Do you really have to Sun in your inner monologue? It's unproductive to scream against such a guy. And he's,
リン、どうした？ようやく自分の愚かさに気づいたか？
Rin, what's wrong? Did you finally realize your own foolishness?
そうね。ええ、私はどうかしてる。
Yeah, there is something wrong with me. What, now you're gonna fight him again and we're gonna see it from Rin's perspective? If Shiro beats Rin from Rin's perspective, that'd be pretty cool, actually. Because that would show us her mindset as she, because that's something I kind of wanted to see the last time they fought. So if this leads to Rin's ultimate decision that, okay, I have to fight Shiro, I've gotten too close, and then they fight, and then Rin loses, but from Rin's perspective, so we can see her mindset. That would be really cool, actually, because we already know roughly what Shiro's mindset is. We don't need to see inside his head right now. It's unproductive to seem against such a guy, and he's
けどアーチャー、そ
Oh,
れもこれ
don't
も
butt
み
me.
んなあんたがつまんないもの見せるから
You
じゃ
got my hopes up. Don't butt me. But Archer, this is all because you showed me unnecessary things.
何？
What? Oh. Oh, he doesn't know that you're seeing his dreams. Yeah.
いいわ、忘れて。とにかくあんたが私のサーバントである以上、私は私が信じることしかやらない。私はエミやシロほど甘くはないけど、それでも譲れないものがある。
In my mind,
相手が何者であろうと、それを譲る気なんかない。
In my mind, there's a cool scene playing out where we see Rin's perspective. She attacks Shiro. We get the full mindset, and then Rin gets beat, and then just as Rin finally fully accepts Shiro as an ally, we swap back to Shiro's perspective, and it's so cool in my head. Anyways, seeing Shiro fight from another POV would be cool. Yeah. Anyways. You're my servant, so I'm only going to do what I believe is right. I'm not as loose as Emi Shiro, but I do have some things I can't give up. I won't give them up no matter who's telling me so. There's her hard line again. I say so with anger. With anger? Interesting. Forget about it. Something wrong with me. This is all because you showed me unnecessary things. What? Maybe Archer doesn't realize she's seeing his memories. Maybe Archer himself hasn't seen those memories. Maybe they should be going to him. They're going to her instead. And if that's the case, he might want them back. He might not properly remember how uncynical he's really supposed to be. Maybe there's cross streams, and he's too different fused. He's not just Shiro, he's someone else too, and there's someone icky in there, messing with his mojo. Shinji! The theory was right all along. They fused! Shinji became a heroic spirit too? Question mark? Oh. Even her family's burden doesn't overtake her base morals. Yeah. And also, she just super has the hots for Shiro right now. And I knew him in the past somehow, question mark. Question mark? I say so with anger. And that makes me realize I don't feel any sympathy, even after learning about his past. Ooh. I mean, you know, he was kind of a cool guy in the past. If he could be like that in the present, there should be no need for the sympathy of the past. I'm just mad at him. I think it's completely justified. Oh, she's challenging him. They've got definitely much more of a butt-head relationship than Shiro and Saber, for example. Although in Timeline 1, there was some butting heads, but that was because Shiro's like, Saber, I want you to be my waifu, and Saber's like, what are you talking about? I'm your servant! Which is very different than this kind of butting heads. Because this is a more playful of butting heads. And then when they're around other people, they're like, oh, we're great friends. They have a son relationship. Rain also has a son relationship with Shiro, because they're the same person. Where's your reply, Archer? I take it out on Archer and glare at him. The Knight in Red makes his usual gesture.
仕方あるまい。主が不調ならば支えるのが進化の役割だからな。君が本調子になるまで陰ながら見守るとしよう。
Aw, that's kind of a cute response. I guess it can't be helped. It is the role of the servant to support his master. When the master is not doing well, I shall look after you until you return to your usual non-Shiryo icky self. Archer willingly signed away his afterlife anyway. Makes sense to not have sympathy. It was his will, I suppose, yeah. I mean, Saber did the same thing too. Oh, that makes sense. Archer signed away his thing. So that must be Archer post being his hero. He had to have already been a hero. When he talked to Saber, he's like, don't do it. As if he knew Saber's future. Because he's Shiro and did know her future. But also, regardless, he realized after the fact that he didn't really enjoy the role of Rogue Spirit. So he saw Saber about to take the sword and he's like, don't do it. It won't lead to good things. But that doesn't really make an echo unless he actually knows the future. That Saber does attempt basically the same thing. And he's like, no, don't do it. It's stupid. But she does it anyway. I guess it can't be helped. It is the role of the servant to support his master. When the master is not doing well, I should look after you until you return to use yourself. And he answers with a reply that's neither a yes nor a no. And then? Oh, that's it? That's it? That's all we get? I thought we could get like a full day with Rin. What's the point of that shit? Unless we're going to be going back and forth from now on, that would be acceptable. What if that's just like quick little, we get Rin for 5 seconds in this timeline? I'm not going to be a fan. Give me more Rin. Give me more proper Rin. Thought we could get like a full Rin day or something. Dash. I wake up. I feel heavy like there's lead inside my head. For a second I thought you said the same thing that Rin said, like, I feel heavy, but also my eyelids feel heavy, to like parallel them. Is this the part where you say you've also been having dreams of Archer as well, the same dreams? I feel like the other days it was not implied that it was Rin dreaming, and it was still implied it was Shiro dreaming. So this would be a good chance to further that up. What is this? I haven't been waking up very well recently. Well, considering you're made of swords, and I think that's going somewhere in that this timeline, it's not surprising that you're not waking up very well. Is it because I have lots of things to think about, or because I'm seeing strange dreams? Right, you're seeing Archer's dreams, right? You're both seeing the dreams. That's not normal. That's weird. Why would you see Archer's dreams? Because you're Archer from the future past. Solved it. Dash. Or are you seeing dreams we're not seeing? Is the twist that Rin was seeing those dreams all along, and you're seeing different dreams because you're some other evil alternate reality servant? If you are an evil alternate reality servant, though, what servant? Where's the foreshadowing for what servant you secretly are? It goes both ways. Shiro was clearly something, and Archer, who the heck is he before? They would connect each other's pieces, as it were. Even though I usually don't see dreams, I think I've been seeing something like a dream recently. Well, they were beautiful swords. Yeah, hurry up and sword birth those. We know about them. I did expect that they would happen when you were protecting Rin without command spells. I guess maybe now that you actually have no command spells except for the last ones to burn, maybe if you get isolated again because of some hopefully smart, actual, genuine excuse, then maybe you'd be able to whip them out, or I don't know, maybe you can actually save Saber in a fight again. Or maybe Saber will get distracted fighting some other servant, and maybe. They were beautiful swords. I see images of swords in my dreams. In them, his short sword come up pretty often. Images of swords. His short swords come up pretty often. Okay. You're being son to yourself too, as well. If Archer's Shiro, maybe the contract gave him power through time back to his welfare indeed. I need self, yeah. Damn, yeah, I like them. So what, Baka, idiot? So what if I actually respect you as a person, Archer? Shut up. Doesn't mean I like you. Gosh. Doesn't mean I am you. Gosh. I curse the person that's not here and get up from my futon. Oh, if Archer's Shiro, I didn't read what you said and actually take it in the way you meant it. The contract gave him power back in time. Making him a hero gave him hero powers in the past. Or maybe, yeah, maybe the idea is that Shiro's not supposed to have these powers because Archer is a spirit summoned from the future. I know that, the heroic spirit can go, in theory, to the future, present, past. They specifically brought up that you can summon a spirit from the future. At some point, they said that. So if Shiro becomes a heroic spirit in the future, becomes Archer, let's say, and Rin, because of her time distillation, fucked things up and summoned a spirit from the future, that being Shiro Archer, then maybe Archer being in proximity to Shiro, who is Archer in the future, some of that bleeds into him, and yeah, he just gets, he mighty morphs, and that's where some of his weird, super ordinary powers that he shouldn't have comes from. That could definitely be a thing, yeah. Okay. That's something to keep in mind. Anyways, it's before 6 in the morning. I can't be affected by strange dreams. I have to go make breakfast. Food is important. Is the red text Archer? I mean, he does have a red getup and all that. Saber sees me off as I leave the house. Okay, this seems like a fitting point. We're only gonna have one. We're only really gonna have one opportunity to take an intermission in this stream, and I do have to pee. So now's the time, and I will fly. I see the ghosts of me. Take a chance. Yes, no. I never actually play card by Vanguard. I never. Okay, let's stop that. Don't need to sing along. I want to be Renmore. What a cock tease. About the bleed through theory. Maybe that's the reason he started to always succeed in his magic. Yeah, it's true. He wasn't succeeding for the longest time. And, you know, the idea is, oh, it's willpower is why he's suddenly succeeding. Maybe it's just he's actually suddenly awesome because of the Archer bleed through. The timing would work out, more or less. And also the start of his magic eyesight as well. Makes sense. Archer's got crazy eyesight. Yep. Whole tower scene happened after Archer was summoned. I failed at magic for 5 years, but now I'm suddenly acing everything. And wow, I can sword birth. It's a lot of growth. Maybe the reason UBW Shiro is more competent is because he just hung out with Archer more. That is a question. That's actually, you know, if we circle back around to the idea of Shiro chronologically having done the timeline 1 and now he's on timeline 2 as well. I think the idea, okay, if Archer is Shiro from the future, he's probably Shiro from like kind of a grody future, maybe from timeline 1 future, and things don't work out the best in the long run, and he gets summoned. No, maybe there's another, okay, he could be from the future just if they want to do full time loop reasoning, or he could be from an alternate future where Archer was never summoned back in time with the idea of there exists a time where Shiro went through his life and then eventually reached that point and then was summoned back to an alternate timeline. You know, otherwise it's loop theory, which loop theory doesn't have to be bad, but I prefer chronological theory because loop theory would be that there was never a timeline where Archer was summoned back and Shiro was not, you know. Yeah, I think, you know, theoretically the Shiro we know is, in theory, if it's chronological, if the idea is chronological, then the Shiro we know could be timeline 2 Shiro if Archer is timeline 1 Shiro, yes. Or rather, we're timeline 3 Shiro at that point, because the Saber Route 1 was timeline 2 Shiro. In theory. And so the idea of looping, Archer seems to know the Grail War is grody to some extent. Maybe he wants to destroy it, because maybe he's playing a part in why Shiro is looping to some extent. Maybe he's exerting his will to push Shiro back because he knows it needs to be finite, finished, dealt with forever. Anyways, Saber sees me off as I leave the house. I am so fascinated. Okay, I am so fascinated by the aspect of some sort of mental time travel that has been implied like crazy between timeline 1 and timeline 2. How he seems to have taken the character development from the end of timeline 1. There's something there, and I'm wondering how hard they're going to go into it. I am excited for them to go hard into it, because I love me some juicy time travel. Anyways, Saber sees me off as I leave the house. I'm getting used to this lifestyle as the morning passes by smoothly. I don't see Tosaka at the gate. Yeah, she got up late. Since the only suspect we had, Issei, turned out to be innocent. I don't like that. I saw the bad end, so I know he's, like, not fully innocent to some extent. That's what I don't like. Because I, Renegade, I'm like, if I had chose the other choice, I would have chosen it because that's a trap. You shouldn't do that. And so I wouldn't have done it thinking he was innocent. So I feel like it's a fake-out twist at that point. Or rather, they're having their cake and fucking it too, you know? Because you don't get to pretend he's innocent, but have the choice to not do the thing, and then have the real reason to not do the thing be the twist, instead of the reason that Shiro gave, which was not the right reason at all, which lets him keep thinking he's innocent, but he's not fully innocent. Anyways, the only suspect we had, Issei, turned out to be innocent. I bet she's busy running around gathering information.
って人事じゃない。俺も調査しないと。
Well, it's not someone else's business. I have to investigate as well. Not someone else's business. Speaking of that Timeline 1 development, Timeline 1 would be like, that's someone else's business. I don't have to deal with that. I don't want to find out anything unfortunate about any of my friends. How will I do that? I guess Tosok is investigating the people at school, so I guess I'll investigate the building. Alright. To investigate a building. You gonna look for secret passages or something? Well, life's not convenient enough to let me notice anything I haven't noticed before. I searched the school using all the breaks I had, and the first half of lunch break, but I wasn't able to find anything strange. Okay.
何か知らんがお疲れ。
I don't know what you were up to, but good job on your work. Thank you. Also, thank you for not being weird about yesterday, you know, where, you know, you killed me. Sorry, alternate timeline. Where I stripped you naked. That happened in both versions. He must be done eating already as he greets me while reading an old poetry book. It shows how close friends they are. I feel super bad, because he's clearly being controlled in some way. I feel super bad for Shiro and Issei when, like, he gets mind controlled and kills him and kills himself. That's so bad. I definitely want to save you, buddy, because that shows how close friends they are. That, you know, Shiro fucking strips him naked and then says sorry afterwards, and Issei's like, oh, sure, if you say sorry, I guess it's fine. The fact that he's so okay with it. The debate could be made that he's just a hard bottom, but if we didn't know Shiro better, there could be a theoretical debate that Issei feels actually threatened by Shiro, and that's why he's so like, oh yes, please, Master Shiro, don't abuse me more, I won't say anything. But of course, we know Shiro won't, no, that's not a realistic fear from Issei, I don't think. So it just shows how good friends they are, at least from Issei's perspective. Shiro maybe doesn't necessarily consider him that close. Maybe Shiro is more nonchalant about it, and it just happens to be convenient. But for Issei's part, Shiro is definitely close. Maybe in each timeline, Archer is uniquely different timeline Shiro. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, maybe. I mean, I guess it could be possible. It could be possible that timeline 1 Archer is timeline 0 Shiro. Yeah, that's possible, I suppose. But if that is the case, then that means he ends up kind of similarly cynical at the end of the road no matter what, at least for so far. I mean, it'll be interesting to see what Timeline 3 Archer's like then, if there's any merit to that theory. Timeline 2 Shiro seems pretty smart, so if he gets all fuckery-wuckery later on, then that's gonna look kind of bad. Granted, Timeline 2 Shiro is post-Timeline 1 Shiro, so maybe the idea is that he always goes negative unless he fully gets to his Timeline 3 development. He must be done eating already as he greets me while reading an old poetry book.
サンキュー。飯食うからお茶もらうぞ。あれ、急須は？
Thank you. I'm getting some tea since I'll be eating here. Oh, where's the teapot?
ああ、こっちだ。しかしな、今日は昆布茶しかないがいいか。
Oh, it's here. We only have kelp tea, but is that alright?
なら左右でいいや。俺、どうも昆布茶のドロッとした感じ、ダメだ。
I'll just take water. I can't take the muddled feeling of that tea.
そうかそうか。では明日までに職員室から緑茶でももらってこよう。
I see. Then I shall get some green tea from the teacher's office tomorrow. Green tea? I'd make a joke, but I don't drink tea, so I don't know. Green? That's funny, because that's the color of money. That rhymed, so I think that actually was a joke. That almost worked. Oh hey, kelp tea is apparently weird. Topoima said kelp tea is apparently weird. I didn't know that. I don't drink tea, but I'll take Topoima's word for it. I leave the laughing Issei to himself, pour some water in my cup, and sit down at the table. Oh, sure, you noticed someone laughing. How about noticing yourself that doesn't laugh? How about talking to Ayako? For once in the goddamn timeline. What about how you owed her one? What the fuck? She got like something happened to her. She went missing, and then there was a Shinji thing. You followed up on Shinji, you didn't follow up on Ayako. What's going on with her? I don't think she's gonna be the timeline 3 waifu. She could be, though. I'd be totally down for that. Because I like her and I want more of her. What's going on with Ayako? Sorry. Pour some water and into my cup and sit down at the table.
じゃ、いただきます。
Itadakimasu indeed. I clap my hands together and open my lunchbox. At the same time, someone knocks on the door. Is it Ayako? Please let it be Ayako. I want Ayako in my visual novel. I like her as a character. Give me more chances to be like, oh yeah, I like you.
あれ、伊勢、お客さん。
It's gonna be your brother who's dating Castor, but shh, don't talk to me about that or Castor will kill you and then kill yourself. Wait, yes. Huh? There's someone at the door, Issei.
こんな時間にか。
At this time? You've seen Aiko for like 2 to 3 scenes. I saw her in the prologue scene. Then Shiro meets her like once in timeline 1. And then meets her like once in timeline 2. So probably about 3 scenes. And I like those 3 scenes so much. I need more. There's foreshadowing that there's more there. Especially earlier in this timeline. So what is it? You keep me hanging for much longer and I'm going to think it's like Sakura where there's a plot twist. But like... At this time? I still think I feel like there's definitely some kind of time bomb twist with Ayako in this timeline. But like, I don't think that there's necessarily a bigger twist beyond that yet. I'm getting there though. Ayako is the dark horse. Don't let her be a dark horse. That means she's around little enough to be qualified as a dark horse. Huh? At this time? Issei slowly goes to the door. Yep, there it is. Good old Soichiro. The visitor is Kazuki-sensei, the one in charge of the student council. Also, Issei's brother, but I believe we only learned that in the bad ending where they kill me. Don't remember if I asked, but are you going to play other Fate games? That's a big maybe. I don't want to say I wouldn't. I am interested, but like there's other things I would play first. So I definitely wouldn't jump into, I'm not that slow, Wiseful. Oh, maybe I am. I wouldn't jump into any other Fate games immediately after Stay Night, but there is a certain definite possibility that it will happen because I would certainly be interested in the idea. But for now, the visitor is Kazuki-sensei, the one in charge of the student council. At this rate, we can be in... I don't know if I know what that stands for, but... I see Kazuki-sensei a lot here, but I bet it's, Emiya's in the student council room a lot from his point of view. Yeah, I suppose that's true, because he's in charge of the student council. Dash. I silently eat my chicken sprinkled lunch. Chicken sprinkled? What is the chicken sprinkled onto? There must not be anything important today as Issei and Kazuki-sensei are just chatting. Dash. Munch.
先生、そろそろ時間ですが。
You don't have to worry about gachas with me. I don't have mobile anyways. But yeah, I tend to avoid gachas. I enjoy randomized rewards if you don't pay for them. But yeah, I have never bought a loot box unless you count card game packs, and even then, only in real life. I've never purchased an in-game Hearthstone pack, for example, or an in-game MTG Arena pack. I did get desperate once and purchase an MTG Arena draft run, I think, because I really wanted to play another one and I was super low on gems. I only did it once. When you gaze long into the Gachibis gains into your bank account. Yeah. That's why I just don't really get involved in the whole gacha thing. I do enjoy randomized rewards for sure, but I wouldn't pay for them because that's like an endless abyss. Sensei, it's almost time.
そうか、邪魔をしたな。言わずとも承知しているだろうが、戸締まりは忘れないように。下校時間も厳守したまえ。
I see. Sorry to take your time. I think you know without having it said, but do not forget to lock this place up, and make sure you leave school on time.
はいはい、
分かってますって。
Yes, yes, I know. I feel like he said baka in there, but I know that words can come together in Japanese, so just because he said baka doesn't mean he actually said, idiot baka, but, free to play, pay to have fun. Yeah, typically. At least that's better than fee to pay. Game with an upfront $60 cost, but still has all the loot boxy microtransactions in it anyways. Yes, I know. Kazuki-sensei leaves and Issei comes back in a good mood. A good mood is good. I like good moods. Let's have good moods. I like good moods for sure. You don't get all the waifus. Everyone is equally unhappy? Well, dang. Dash, dash. Wow, I just saw something rare. Which was? It's really rare to see Kazuki-sensei chatting about meaningless things with a student. That's because they're, like, related and brothers, which I guess you don't know yet? That was a twist. Because I don't know, I sometimes forget, like, did I learn that and just forgot? I think that was an actual bad ending twist. I look at Kazuki and I see, like, 40s, I'm gonna be honest. Yeah. Why would he need to be old? He just has to study things. You're right. He doesn't necessarily have to even be old. He just has to study the history. Though honestly, I look at him and I see 40s. If they tell me they're close enough in age to be brothers, I'll believe them, but to me he looks 40s. It's really rare to see Kazuki-sensei chatting about meaningless things with a student. And with that shy Issei. Oh, they might get along since they're both stubborn, but it's still strange. Okay, Shiro doesn't know. Shiro doesn't know they're brothers. I see. So that we did just learn it in the bad ending. Okay. They might get along since they're both stubborn, but it's still strange. Shiro's smart enough to realize there's something up with that. You have to be young, teach history at some point unless you start the job old. I mean, do you major in history? Is that a thing you can do? I don't know. I would assume so, right? But,
なあ、伊勢。
Hey, Issei.
なんだエミヤ。
What is it, Emiya?
いや、前から疑問に思っていたんだが、お前とクズキ、仲いいのか？
I've been wondering for a while, but are you on good terms with Kazuki? Oh, he's surprised. Is the fact that him and our brothers supposed to be a twist, or not a twist, supposed to not actually, yeah, supposed to not be known to be related, which is interesting. Maybe the idea is that they're supposed to be, I think I talked about this, but the idea is that they're supposed to be a family of monks. So maybe Kazuki being here is sacrilege or something, or Kazuki's stern, so he just told Issei, hey, don't tell your colleagues that we're related, because that might, people in their eyes might think less of you and or me. Let's keep this professional or something. I don't know. He's surprised.
いや、答えられないならいい。ふとそう思っただけだから気にするな。
No, it's fine if you don't answer. I just thought that was the case, so don't worry about it.
ああ、違う。そういえばエミヤには言ってなかったな。と気がついてね。
Like a
仲
brother?
がいいのは当然なのだ。
On the other
何しろ
timeline,
クズキ先生は俺の兄貴分みたいなもの
in
だ
the
か
other
らな。
timeline, you said brother. Like a brother, not actually a brother. I just realized I haven't told you about it. It is only natural that we're getting along. Kazuki-sensei is like a brother to me. Like a brother? Adopted? Well, even if it's adopted, you'd say a brother. So what do you mean like? In the other timeline, you fucking just said brother. You goddamn liar. What do you mean like a brother?
は？
Huh? Kazuki-sensei is like Issei's brother?
ちょっと待って、それどういうことだ？
Hold on, what does that mean? Are you like brothers from other mothers? Or like your parents remarried and now you're brothers? But then you'd still be brothers. I mean, you wouldn't be normal brothers, but you'd be okay, what do you mean?
だから兄貴分だって。
I'm telling you that he's like my older brother. He's like your older brother? Or is he your older brother?
そう一郎。クズキ先生は3年ほど前からうちに居候しているんだ。見ての通り朴突な人柄だが、裏表のない誠実な心をしている。同じ屋根の下で暮らしていて、人間として尊敬できるのだ。兄として慕うのは当然だろう。
Soichiro, Kazuki-sensei, has been staying over... Their voices do kind of have a similar sternness to it, for sure. Kazuki-sensei has been staying over at my place for about 3 years. He's a knave or naive? He's a naive person, as you can see. Is he naive? Can you see that from just looking? Maybe you can. 3 years. 3 years, that's interesting, right? Because didn't Kiritsugu die 3 years ago, or was that 5 years ago? I forget because the game has said both. No, it's supposed to actually be 5 because I wanted to believe it was 3, but it was actually 5. Anyways, 3 years. He's a naive person, as you can see, but he has a sincere heart. He's living under the same roof as me, and he's someone I can respect as a person. It's only natural for me to respect him as my older brother. And he's the actual master, and is being manipulated by Caster in theory, correct? Unless Archer was not typoing and actually meant Kizuki is just being smart, which also means he's evil because he totally is mind controlling his brother. Or maybe he doesn't know about it, but in which case there's going to be a cruel twist later on when he's like, Caster, what the fuck? But, it's only natural for me to respect him as my older brother.
Kuzuki 竜道寺に住んでいる?
Kuzuki lives at the Ryudo Temple? It feels like I got hit in the head with a hammer. Oh boy, whatever you do, just don't ask about Caster. Or any woman who's living there, because I don't even think you name-dropped Caster. I think you just asked a bit about the woman, and he stabbed you. But I got calm and asked Issei to continue. Ooh, don't continue too hard. I guess if you only ask about Kuzuki and not about her,
そういえば最近見慣れない女がいるって
Oh god, no, 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 no!
そいつのことクズキは知ってるのか?
This got you stabbed last time, man! How will this trigger it if that didn't? Or rather, scratch that, reverse it. Oh yeah, you mentioned something about an unfamiliar woman at your place, right? Does Kazuki know about her? Okay, if this doesn't trigger it, I want to know why this doesn't trigger it when the other thing did. He said like a brother yesterday. You were just being you. I was just being me. How dare you? I never read anything wrong. Did he? Hold on. I'm actually genuinely curious. Maybe I should ask Isuke about it. I guess I'll ask him. Wait, no, don't skip the scene. God damn you. No, don't. What the? Why did it start skipping? Stop it. Stop it. I guess I clicked a button by accident. I'll guess I'll ask him. Don't skip. I guess I'll ask him about. Okay, just get through. Blah blah blah. I want to see his reaction. No, I'm not crazy. You're crazy. First of all, look, first of all, I cannot fall in with the lover of the one I respect as my older brother Soichiro. No, I'm right. You're wrong. Nana nana boo boo. I am a, not at all a, I don't have an ego problem. You have an ego problem. But in this case, I am correct. He does not say like a brother. Yes, I cannot fall in love with the lover of the one I respect as much as my older brother. Look! Yeah, I cannot fall in love with the lover of the one I respect as my older brother. To me, I read that as just being his older brother. I read that as a typo. This visual novel has typos. I read that as a typo. I cannot fall in love with the lover of the one I respect as much as my older brother is how I read that. Okay, thank you very much. He did not say like a brother. That is not, you quoted like a brother. Okay, sorry, I have an ego problem. Let's get back to where we actually were. He didn't. The answer is he didn't.
そういえば最近見慣れない女がいるって言ったよな。そいつのことクズキは知ってるのか?
You just read the first one and kept thinking he's literally brother. Well, yes, I did. And now this is what disproves it, saying that he's like a brother. Because as far as I was concerned, that was just a typo, based on the way that was worded. I can admit maybe that I'm wrong now that I've seen this, but based on that wording, I still read that now and go, that looks like a typo to me. If that's what he meant, I feel like it's worded wrong, but no. This is the kind of fun interaction you wouldn't get if this was just a Let's Play and not a stream. Aren't you glad? uh, oh yeah, you mentioned something about an unfamiliar woman at your place, right? Does Kazuki know about her? And now he kills you.
知ってるも何も。あの女は久月先生の言い名付けだ。近々祝言をあげるから、それまで部屋を貸し与えて。
Okay, this is more information than Shiro got in the timeline where you stabbed him. So if he doesn't freak out in this timeline, there must be a specific trigger word or something that he hasn't said yet in this timeline. She is more than that, as she is his fiancée. We're letting her borrow a room until they hold their wedding celebration. Yeah, he has now gone further than he did in the timeline where he shanked you. Dash, dash, dash. A second shock. Uh-huh. She is more than that, as she is his fiancée. Yeah, that would definitely be a big shock, for sure. I remember thinking Shiro should freak out more at the fact that he said he was a brother in the other timeline, but he didn't. I guess because Issei just flipped on a dime so quickly in that one in comparison. Whereas in this one, he had more time to process that, and he wasn't necessarily poking into the woman part. But, yeah. A second shock.
一世、そういうの見慣れない女って言わないんじゃないのか。
Issei, you wouldn't call her an unfamiliar woman in that case, right? Uh-huh. More than that, she is his fiancée. Her borrow a room until they hold their wedding celebration. Probably memory manipulation. Castor memory manipulated them to thinking that that's her purpose for being there. I try my hardest to object with a dizzy head. I mean, if this doesn't trigger him, then that says to me that he's not trapped today for some reason. Like maybe Castor's busy doing something else and she resets the trap each day and she didn't bother today because ... because he's less tired, more composed, so he's not as likely to spring the trap. Because I feel like Shiro's gotten more out of this woman combo definitely than he did in the other timeline. So unless he's just not trapped today or the trap is hard to spring because he's more alert for some reason, feels like a contradiction.
見慣れない女は見慣れない女だ。久月先生の言い名付けであろうと、名前も知らない女など、それで十分だろう。
An unfamiliar woman is an unfamiliar woman, even if she may be Kazuki-sensei's fiancée. That is all I can say about her, as I don't even know her name. So it definitely seems like Kazuki is the master, and Issei was just a trap. But based on the bad ending, it should have sprung by now, so what gives? That does feel weird and odd, but okay. Maybe she put the trap in Kazuki today? Does she have to move the trap around? Is she not strong enough to have it in multiple people? Maybe she figured that Shiro gave up on it being... No, I don't think it can't be something conscious. If she knows that Shiro is probing into Issei, she'd just have Issei shank Shiro. So she doesn't know. So she moved it just to bait someone somehow? That's reaching in my opinion, but... Issei stops the conversation as if saying he's angry. Dash, 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 dash. Maybe it's because Issei hasn't freaked out yet. That's an interesting idea. It's up to his subconscious. Because in the other one, he really freaked out when saying, "What? No, I would never be in love with the lover of my brother, or as my brother." He was getting all flustered, whereas here he's maintaining his composure. So maybe that's the key. Maybe he has to actually get freaked out for it to trigger. Maybe he has to reach a certain threshold of emotional, blandness while also talking about the woman for him to get triggered, I guess. Seems like a weird trap trigger, but okay. I guess that is something. Issei stops the conversation as if saying he's angry. Dash, dash, dash. Anyway, this is something I can't ignore. Kazuki Soichiro is coming from the Ryudo Temple, and there's a woman that is said to be at the Ryudo Temple. Uh-huh. Maybe Issei is trying his best to resist the stabbing notion. Maybe because he's conscious of it. Like, for some reason, my inner mind is telling me to stab Shiro, but I don't feel like it. I hear Kazuki-sensei's fiancé showed up about a month ago. Okay. Wait, how did you hear that? How do you know this? Did you ask off screen? What? How do you know that? How would you know that? Did someone say that earlier? Huh? If that's Castor, all our answers are right there. Now does he try to stab you?
と、
No.
そういうわけなんだが。
So that's what I heard. What? I call malarkey. Okay, so even if... Okay, I call malarkey because he clearly got more information. When I saw that bad ending, my mind was like, okay, we have to find this out some other way, instead of probing into Issei. And then we just probe into Issei anyway? What, are we dropping? Oh, we're dropping. Tom's Tom, always with the uh-ohs. But no, really. Why no trap spring? Issei stabbed the stream. Exactly. How dare he? Oh, he trapped my stream. I understand. That makes perfect sense. You just gonna stay trapped? Can you hear my voice? Can I keep talking if I don't move forward? Twitch gonna twitch. Yeah. Can you hear my voice? Is it just the screen that's frozen? Because sometimes it's just the screen that's frozen. But I don't know. Anyways, I don't know. I guess I can't talk about this right now. I do have something I want to say, but I want to make sure it's left in the Twitch VOD. We could stop here. It's earlier than I wanted to. I would have went later, but we've gone a decent amount. I have a neat old tangent to give, and I just don't... Maybe I can suck it in and give it tomorrow. I will have to... gosh, that's annoying. We got a stream in, even if I stop now. We got a stream in. It's not the worst thing in the world, but like... Grumble. I was trying to grumble about the game, Twitch. You don't need to give me something else to grumble about. It's still, okay, Twitch is still twitching. Alright, I don't know why it's doing this. It's being a mean jerk face. I guess we just stop here then? I was gonna go long. Instead, we're stopping short. I got an hour and a half stream in. That's better than nothing. Today was originally gonna... Today could have been nothing. There's a universe where today was nothing. And I just canceled today's stream instead of starting late. But I did. I started late, mommy, and I got 90 minutes in. That's something. Yeah, it's still going. I guess we stop here then. For those watching on YouTube, still don't have an outro phrase. I guess the video is over. Cliffhanger. I'll give my tangent on the next inciting installment of Fate Ball Z. So you better watch out for that one. So stop recording. Still no outro phrase. Bye-bye.